indicators that I'm using right now live on YouTube for you guys. So let's start with my favorite indicator of all time, whether it be for stocks, cryptos, commodities. Go up to trading view. Let's gotta drag this down just a little bit here. Go to indicators and look at RSI, relative strength index. This indicator is so helpful at predicting when to enter or exit a trade. You add it to your chart. I'll make a new chart from scratch. So I'll make a new layout. I'll just use the scalping indicators layout. And I'll use the Dogecoin chart. Let's go to 1 day. Notice I have only the Heikin-Ashi candles up here. So first, for my candle pattern, I like Heikin-Ashi. And then for the indicators, I'll go up here, RSI. I'll add it to my chart. It's going to be down here. One moment, please. Let me edit the transform of this real quick so we can see everything. All right, so this is my full screen real quick. Nothing else. All right, so we're gonna go to chart. We have RSI. We're gonna go to the settings for RSI over here. I don't want to see my moving average RSI. I'm gonna put my upper band up here, 70, lower band at 30. Might even want to do 20 down here. And let's we won't need a bindle band. For the background, we can keep the default background. RSI, I like that nice yellow color. I can do the purple background a little bit like you guys see on the stream. Like this. Make it a little bit darker. A little bit. Help separate a little bit. For my input, I can put my RSI length that sits. I don't have the moving average RSI on here. RSI based on moving average. You can do that as well, but I'm keeping default for now. I'll put my length that sits. So this chart is a Dogecoin chart. Basically, I'm going to teach you how to use relative strength index. If you use it on the daily chart or above daily time frame, you're going to get a little bit more accuracy. But currently, what we see right here, when RSI is completely overbought like this, 98, 96, generally price is already spiked up. People are going to start taking profits. So you kind of take profits when RSI is like this, especially when it's starting coming down right here. Usually that's when you're going to start losing that bullish momentum and prices are going to come down. Might do one more bounce and come down further. And then right here, notice how oversold we were back here on December 17th. That's technically today for us. We're already December 18th since some tomorrow's time frame. So this is oversold. RSI oversold. So you sell and overbought. You sell when it's overbought. Let me fix this real quick. But it's not this simple. You have to combine other indicators. So you sell when overbought, you buy oversold. That's what you do on the daily. This is the Dogecoin chart, by the way. Let's add another indicator that you can pair with this to decide if you want to buy or if you want to sell. Go to indicators. Moving average, convergence, divergence. This is really your MACD.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So what is there's three different RSIs, 6, 12, and 24, or what? Or what? How does that work?
What, sir?
I'm looking on Mexi for RSI. Have what RSI 6, 12, and 24?
No, no,
What
no.
was that?
You want to use the trading view chart.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because on Metsy you have those charts up there as well. But on charts you can do original, or you can do trading view chart. You can also do a depth chart on Metsy. Use trading view and you can set up those indicators on trading view.
Yeah, I'd rather use TradingView.
I see you typing, Michelangelo. How are you learning if you're typing and typing in the chat? I did this to try to help you learn. If you're not going to help it learn, I'm just going to focus. I'm just going to go through. You can type. I find that people that talk more than they listen are the worst learners. I would never become a teacher, ever. We're going to go through. We're going to look at these indicators. Moving average, convergence, divergence. I'm going to add that to your chart. This is for the people listening out there. Let's go ahead and change my settings for this indicator. I like to keep my MACD line gold or yellow, my signal line white. Look at that. Moving average, convergence, divergence. Basically, it's going to detect, are we gaining bullish momentum, losing bullish momentum, gaining bearish momentum, or losing bearish momentum. Dark green lines represent bullish momentum. Light green represents losing that bullish momentum. Dark red, bearish momentum. Light red, losing bearish momentum. Look what happened right here at this zone when we went from losing bearish momentum to picking up a little bit of bullish momentum. Right here is that the price already increased. But if you would have got into Doge while it was oversold, right here, you would have got a better entry. Right here was traders that got confirmation. And then they were able to ride it up here. And then when it's overbought again, either right here or the first time overbought right here on the daily, they took profits. And then they rode it all the way down. Now traders are buying back in as it's oversold. Eventually this moving average is probably going to increase a little bit as well. I don't have that on my screen, but price is steadily increasing and we are losing a little bit of that bearish momentum. This is my 1-day chart. Doge losing bearish momentum because we had some strong support down here at 75 to 72 cents. So you look at these wicks as well. Let's look at the wicks real quick right here for Doge. This is a nice strong support for Doge at this level. We can even push up a little bit more because we know the wicks will go down all the way because of liquidations most of the time. So we have the relative strength index indicator. We have the moving average convergence divergence indicator. Now we are looking to see if we have a nice support zone. Basically, a wick down is what's building up these support levels. The more often it touches the support, the better we can measure that. So we want at least 6 candles apart as well. From this line to this line, it's about 37 days, 37 candles. Pretty significant support. We were a little bit oversold on this candle as well as this candle. And we didn't really drop too much further under 7.15. So we found that this nice support around this zone about 7.428 for Doge. Even as low as 7.3 and some change. But currently looking here, like we can say that 7413 was a nice support for Doge. So if you have this as your support for Doge, let's take a look at some of the resistance on the daily when we're overbought last time. We see that every time we get up here to 15, 16, we get overbought. Look at this though. Even our last run up back here, multiple times Doge got rejected up here, and it only broke through really on these Elon tweets or off of liquidations. So drawing back from here, we can see generally at these wicks, even down a little bit more, like strong resistance at 14.6 for Doge. Strong resistance at 14.6, mapping it out back here. Look how many times Doge gets rejected here on the way up. Let's look at the moving average and everything too. So Doge went from oversold right here. It climbed up, overbought, rejection, rejection, rejection. So this is where resistance is at. Generally, you buy support, sell resistance. So we have this resistance up here at 147. It's resistance from all the way back here, January 26th. So historical resistance from January 26th after that pump. If we go back up to 14.6 again, probably we'll see a lot of retail investors taking profits. We could wick up a little bit more than that. We can even go up like 4 cents more. Like last time we went as far as 21% above resistance. If you're buying up here, it's going to be very dangerous. So let me draw a nice block up here. I'll color it for you. So people are selling up here, and they are generally buying down here. People are selling up there and buying down here. Notice how that works. You start learning. You don't really want to buy up here in the resistance zone when we're also overbought on the RSI and we are losing some of that bullish momentum. It's going to be very scary. So right now Doge is in a zone where we're kind of like bouncing off here off this support and could be going uptrending. We're oversold, starting to recover. Look at this RSI. Let's hide all the drawings. Look right here. We have this nice little hook. We touched completely oversold and started getting big buy pressure for Doge. Let's look at these charts on the short time frame. Yes, we're getting a little bit of sell pressure. But when this cools down, we'll probably be back above 10 cents relatively soon. Within a few days, up to a week. So be very careful if you're trying to short Doge at these levels. I hope you're learning something from this. So add those indicators. Just start with those 2 indicators. After you have those 2 indicators, take a little bit of math lesson. Ask yourself, how was RSI developed? How was MACD developed? And then your educational journey is going to lead you into moving averages. All right, let's add another indicator. 200 MA. So we can do 50 and 200. So add this indicator, 50, 200 moving average. And we're going to edit this. Let's put the style. I like white. And this is going to be for the 50. Actually, let's do gold. We're going to do yellow for the short term. For long term, we're going to do white right here. For now, we're only going to go and show the 200. So this white line is my 200 moving average. There is a theory in trading that we generally go back to moving average. Look at the moving average down here. Notice how the moving average has been dropping since November 3rd. And currently, like it's been dropping. But let's look at the average now. I think this is the flattest we've been. Right here. This has been the flattest 18 days the moving average has been. And we haven't been this flat on moving average since 2020 for Doge. So we're kind of like slowing down on this drop on the moving average for the 200. Now, let's turn on the 50 moving average. And look right here. The moment your short-term moving average crosses your long term, that creates a golden cross. Generally, that's a bullish indicator. Well, when that happened right here, we were kind of around 8.8. It created a little bit of bullish momentum. We did dip a little bit on a short time frame, but ultimately ended up at a way higher price. Since that golden cross average, we ended up over 27% up on Doge. So slowly right here, we haven't crossed over like this. We haven't really crossed over the short term crossing over the long term since back here in 2020 as well. So bullish case for Doge is there. Bullish case for Doge is definitely here, and moving averages supporting that. RSI is supporting that. Elon still talks about Doge. Notice how Doge right here does really well for these runs up and liquidate shorts. So when you learn about relative strength index and moving average convergence divergence, you're going to get a little bit deeper learning about moving averages. There's a lot of traders out there that base their trades off of moving averages. Right here, when the yellow line crossed the white line here, that was very bearish for Doge. That was a bearish signal for Doge. So we had a dip down. A lot of traders got out of their trades. Yes, we did spike back up off liquidations about 53%. But then ultimately we came down as far as over 78%. So we already got the big bear signal in 2021. Now we got the bull signal here on the moving average back on November 9th. So Doge is still around these price levels. A lot of traders were waiting right here for this retest. They were waiting right here for this retest for this price level. And then that's why we had this support line building. So they were able to buy. A lot of people bought right here. I was trying to get everybody and their mother to buy back here at 6.4, 6.5 because we knew that Elon was buying Twitter. We knew that he had funding to buy Twitter. A lot of people were very skeptical. Some people took profit the first time we spiked above 9 cents. And then boom, we ran up to above 18 cents. Back here. Sorry, 15 cents. So some people are waiting for a retest to come all the way back down here to the sideways price. I can understand that if they're waiting for that retest. Maybe a scam wick down one day. Really bad liquidations. We come back down to about 5.6 to 6.5. I could see that. But people are already dollar cost averaging right here. We already had the MACD crossed over. Short-term cross to the long-term. We already had a spike up from that as well. Some positive action. And then came back down, getting oversold. So just use some of these indicators. Learn. Now, take what you just saw here and apply it to like 20 different charts and try to predict it on these time frames to see how it plays out. The problem is these daily time frames takes a long time to play out, but start on the daily and then move down. If you find yourself trading on the 1 minute, usually that's after something goes parabolic. It's going to suck, but look right here. Look right here what happened before this run up. With the 1 minute, it doesn't work that well. But when you look on a daily, you get a little bit more accuracy, right? You can build those support levels. You can also add some indicators to get supply demand zones. But just start with some of these basic indicators. Start learning. Don't make your trading too complicated. And then if you want to learn about trading patterns, there's so many things out there to learn about trading patterns. There's a book that I was reading about trading patterns. There's so many books out there that are like the same version of this that are cheaper. You can buy like used books. You can even buy on eBay. You don't even have to buy the latest model of this book. You can also read about people that created chart patterns. There's so many people that create so many good chart patterns as well. But if you look at naked forex, This is the book that I read before. Kind of helps. It's just called Naked Forex. And with this book, you can learn a lot about the patterns and stuff. You can even like start reading some of this stuff for free on Amazon. It talks about currencies. Just read about this. And then you can start seeing about chart patterns and stuff as well. One of the first indicators it talks about in this book is the relative strength index. And then it goes a little bit deeper about how to use relative strength index. I'll put that link in the YouTube chat. You don't have to buy this book. I read the book that's like 10 years old. 2012. I read the book from 2012. And it's like a really cheap book. I bought it for like $2 at a thrift store. This is a great book for learning though. You can look through all these chart patterns. Also gives you like MACD buy signal, teaches you how to use MACD a little bit too. It's a very nice to learn. They're using this for more like for futures, for like currencies, but I don't do Forex market. I really stay to crypto. I don't want to do Forex. But yeah, start learning some of those indicators. I hope it helps you. Maybe I'll create like a